What's up, guys? A PJ checking in. I want to make a little review of yesterday's tradings entries. So quickly jumping in. No, don't want to waste too much of your time, even if it's not a waste of your time. You should be listening now. You like just take this as remember. It's I'm a beginner trader. These are not advice. Uh, Definitely not. But let's go over yesterday. So that was a QQQ in 1 hour time frame yesterday. Uh, I ended up paper trade short selling the QQQ. So let's go in the 1 minute time frame. Now I'm so glad I actually did that in paper trade because I did a mistake that would have turned out to be a beautiful mistake with real money as well. However, it could have went badly as well. So I'm gonna tell you why in a moment. So yesterday I had, I'm just gonna remove that box. I had drawn a few levels from previous days and weeks, and there was this level right here that seemed to have more resistance and more importance in terms of pricing. So it was interesting to see how prices in different stocks would react. And as you can see, the QQQ in the first, I would say, yeah, almost an hour, it went up, slowly up, and then went down. Now, we wanted to see the price, of course, to go break above that and retest and go beyond, of course, to be long on different stocks. However, it is not what happened. So when the stock broke, like it tested the zone many times and then it broke underneath. Now it broke underneath. That's one thing. There's a first lesson right here is like, okay, yes, from there it could have just have went down without a retest. But that's the thing. It's like, yes, sometimes there's no break and retest. It's only a break and then it goes down and then it doing something like that. However, it's I would say much safer to wait for a retest just like that. So what happened is when this candle right here broke this level, I was like, okay, this is going down because it's breaking the structure. There's a market shift right here. So I believe it's going to go down at least to this target. Um, well, it didn't exactly do this right here, and I didn't know where to put this stop loss actually. I was like, should I put the stop loss like right here? Like, I don't know. And the thing is, now this is a QQQ, and depending on your position sizing, it will differ. But I didn't know where to put my stop loss, to be honest. So my stop loss was randomly like my stop loss, meaning that I had this box, and if the price would go just like this right here, I would just I would just like, if the candle actually the body would close above here, I would get out of my position, right? So it didn't do it for the first 1, 2, 3 minutes, and then this big green candle comes in, and this is what happened. This is what I hear in a lot of videos. Like a lot of people will short sell around here, and then a retest will happen, and they panic and they just quit their position, which is in a way understandable. I mean, if you got in this trade right here, and your stop loss is right here, you want to have a risk reward ratio of 2. Well, if I go above that, my risk reward of 2, let's say I would have put my stop loss right, which would have worked in a way, would have worked. But still, as a beginner, like, I don't know these things. I don't know. I don't know. So that was my setup. So when the price, I want to wait for the candle to close, and as you can see, the candle closed very far from that that zone. But still, this is how I operate. Um, Now the mistake I've done here is I had short sell right here, but I wanted to close my position so quick that instead of buying, I just sold more because I was like, so normally I usually buy I'm I usually go long for, I would say, 70-80% of the time. So I was so used to just buy and sell that I pressed sell, and I pressed sell at the best moment I could. And that was a mistake, but a beautiful mistake because I just have put more in my short position actually, and then the price went down and I took my profit exactly around where I said I would take it. So it was a successful trade, but by mistake. However, what I'm learning from this is wait for the break and the retest and then short sell. If you take a look right here, my position, I took it, I'm not going to point with my finger, but I took the position right there. You can see the little arrow that is appearing. So if I would have wait for retest, even if that's looking like, I would say, a big evening star, it's not perfect evening star, but still, well, I could have entered my short right here, which is exactly at the same level that I took my short in the first place. And the only difference is that my stop loss would have probably, I could have kept the same stop loss. Like I could have, like as you can see, the price never, after this, the price never went above that. So maybe that's actually a good place to put a stop loss. But I could also have put my stop loss right here, and then it would have also never visit this zone. Now I don't know. In this case, I don't know, guys, where would be the perfect place to put your stop loss if you enter a trade right here. I have no idea. I would think that probably the best place would be something like this box right here that I've drawn, because the price has respected right here, boom, retest, and then it would be, I think, fair to think that the price next will not go back in here, but we'll test this zone, and then we'll test this zone, and then we'll test the zone. I don't know. And then a ratio 2 to 1 would have been something like right here, and that is 0.2%. And it went there in a couple of minutes. So you see how crucial it is to review your trades, the ones you've taken, the ones you haven't taken, you were thinking of taking. Review the overall day to see if there was any potential entries that you've never seen, and how what happened here, why the price did go up so quickly. And so just take a look for different confluences so you gain more perspective, knowledge, experience. Even if you didn't take a trade, it's still extremely valuable for your trading journey and your learning journey on the stock market. So that was the cue. I took more position. The other one, maybe in Marvel. Let's go take a look. Actually, I can open my paper trading. I don't know why it's every single day I have to reconnect the paper trading. I don't know why. So if we go here, can I move that? Oh yeah, I can move my face everywhere. Order history or balance history. I don't know. Let's go in order history. Yesterday, so that was the QQQ, and then we had Marvel. I think that was yesterday as well. Yesterday was the 23rd. Yeah, Marvel, and SNDK as well. Yeah, so SNDK and Marvel. So let's take a look. Let's put that right here, and put my face on the right side this time. So I got into a trade with Marvel right here. So I got in this trade. Now, looking at this in retrospective and looking at what you cannot see on my left screen is the QQQ. QQQ was going up. It was above every level, the SMAs and the VWAP. Here is not this. I'm just going to put these. So it was above everything. The SMAs were going up. It was above the VWAP. And then what I was waiting for here was something like a break and retest of the 5-minute candle. So it broke right here, tested, failed, it went underneath, and then it went back up again. It kind of broke up pretty nicely. There's some nice displacement here. Tested. I wasn't sure to get in with this candle. Is that like a big fat hammer? I wouldn't say necessarily it's a hammer candle, but uh, right here was like, okay, like I think it's time to get in the trade, and I just got in the trade right here. I would say my level of confidence was, I didn't think, that's another thing. It's like when you get in a trade, ask yourself this question: how confident do I feel in this moment on a scale of 1 to 10? Um, because in the aftermath right now, I'm looking at this one day later, I'm like, why did I get in the trade? I mean, it was a successful trade, right? However, I would say it was a successful trade, but as you can see right here, I bought right around this level, and I sold first one part of my position right here. So I'm trying this scaling up thing. So here from this was 1%. So about a 1%, I took some profit. Now I really thought that the price would go up to this pre-market high. However, it tapped right into the support and resistance zone right there, a zone that I had marked out, I think, last week. And then the price range zone, and it went back. So I had moved my stop loss, my idea of getting out of the trade right around where I got in. So it was a successful trade. I could have just taken out my full position right at this place. Um, but I mean, the price went down and flattening, flattening out, and it was a sign that it was going to go down. And if I look at the QQQ, about here, the Q was arriving in this upper zone that I've shown you just before that. Hopefully you can see this right here. But the QQ is arriving exactly in the zone. So of course the price was going to slow down, and it never broke and stayed above this price. So probably that around here, taking a look right here, this is exactly when the price started to go down again. Um, but still successful trade. So that's one thing I'm really glad that I did, instead of holding my position thinking that it would not go above that. No, I sold that right here. I took less profit than I could have. So what? It's better to take some profit, I think, than a loss. And then SNDK, I'll just pull it right here. SNDK. Going back. I don't know if SNDK was a success. Let's see. Right here. So the reason I short SNDK is um, not quite sure about this one. I think I understand why, actually. So it's 500 top, 500 bottom, and we have the zone right here that the pre-market low. So I think what I wanted to do here is short the pre-market low, because it broke underneath and it retested this pre-market low. However, what I'm wondering right now is this bottom of the 500 candle have more impact, more importance than the pre-market low, since it's not too far. My thought was like, okay, right here it's kind of this is the morning star, but it's not on any levels that I have marked out. So I'm not gonna take a long right here, and I'm glad I didn't. Then it tested the pre-market low with a evening star. Now it's not really the perfect evening star. Is that an evening star? I don't know. It's just like this big green candle, this doji, they call it a doji, and then we have here this big red candle. And then I entered the short right here, but it went pretty far actually. When I don't know, like my entry, when I press sell right there, it took the trade right here. And then I also didn't know exactly where I could have put my stop loss, but my stop loss was right here. and it didn't work because I wanted to have a ratio 2 to 1. However, if I for 1%, there's so many different opportunities that they're not doing necessarily a 2 to 1, because the 2 to 1 is based on where is your stop loss, right? So is that really the best way to put your target? Just the 2 to 1 ratio? Because if you look at this right here, there was this zone, and the price went in that zone and broke a bit beyond. So could I have targeted almost 1%? Of course, and that would have been a successful trade anyways, even if the price went back up. So it's understanding these different things, the impact that these levels have, and the importance to me. What I can see is how important it is to actually mark these levels and go back, even if like weeks ago, some levels have more strength than others. And as we can see here, it tested that level, maybe a bit above, but still it didn't stay under it. Like it broke, and this big candle right here just went back. So, but I could have still have 1% in there. So if my stop loss would have been different, let's say right here I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put my stop loss elsewhere. Could my stop loss be, I don't know, candle bottom? Is that a great place to have this stop loss? Maybe, maybe not. About here, it would have been a successful trade. So it really, over time, the more you trade, the more you see these things. I reinforce the idea I said earlier of revisiting these days. Even if you haven't taken any entries, any trade, still go back and see what happened. Analyze what the price is doing in correlation with the QQQ and different indicator and different confluences. So yeah, I can see that was one opportunity to have a 1% trade. Now, tested this level, respected it for 3 different candle, and we had this inverted hammer candle. I could have gotten in this trade right here, and with a long, with a 1.3% risk, which is not a lot, and even like a 2, it gives me still 0.7% is not bad, depending on your not depending on the position size. It is still 0.7%. It is still that. No matter the price, it is still that. And here I could have easily said the price is going at least to the 5 minute high, 5 minute top candle, and that was a 5 to 1 ratio, was almost 2%, and it would have been a wonderful trade. And even if you're not sure about this one, you could have waited right here. Now you have a bit more risk. It's almost 1%, so that's the bigger risk. But about at this level, it's 1.2%. It is great. It is good. So, was there any other opportunities which probably it went up, broke above this one, broke above the previous day low, and I think I wanted to get into this trade because of this big candle right here, but I'm looking at the Q as well at the same time right here, and it's testing this big zone again. So it didn't really like have worked. I placed a box. I don't know. Maybe I got into the trade. I'm not sure. No, I didn't get into the trade with papers. Oh, I got into the trade in real money actually. You see, that's one trade I put money in, and it didn't go as I thought it would go. I invested $100. I'm not ready. I don't feel ready to invest 1,000, 5,000. Even if like in my first week I was investing that, I just I just decrease my position sizing because, well, I think it's right now the smartest thing to do. And then, as you can see, I had this level right here. I took my trade at the worst possible moment, and I'm looking at the queue, and the price was not breaking above this key level that it needed to have more strength in the other stock. So from there, it just went back down, and I got out of the trade right around here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for yesterday. Let me know in the comments if you're learning anything from my quick analysis and my trading. Even if I'm still a beginner, I'm wondering. And if you have any tips, any things you see that I don't see, let me know. Peace out.